Hi, today you're sewing with Cody, and in this quick video I'm going to show you how to do a perfect basting stitch on the Bernina 880 Plus. But this does apply to pretty much all the machines with the color touchscreen. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our number one stitch, which is just our straight stitch, and our straight stitch default stitch length is 2.5 millimeters. So what we want to do is we want to use our stitch length knob, and increase our stitch length to the max, which is the 6 millimeters. So now what we want to do is we want to come to our eye, open up that extra information, and we want to come to this icon. And what this icon is, it's the remove every other stitch icon. You can use this with all the decorative stitches and all the stitches in the machine, which will give you a totally different look of a stitch. But here we're looking for a basting stitch. So we want to remove every other stitch, which would then give us a 12 millimeter stitch length. And we can see on the screen how far apart those needle penetrations are. So this is really neat how it works, because the machine is actually the needle is gonna hop every other stitch. So the feed dog is gonna move like normal, but the needle isn't gonna penetrate, but every other time. So we're gonna bring you closer so you can see how this works. So if you're doing a basting stitch, do a ruffle, or like gathering, you'd want to start with the tail so you've got something to pull when you're done. So what we'll do is we're going to start, and we actually have a bobbin tail here too. So kind of hold those off to the side. You don't want those to get sucked up underneath. So we'll start stitching, and watch how the machine stitches. It's really neat, but makes a super easy, perfect basting stitch. So for something that you just need to baste down, and you're going to then finish your project and take out that basting stitch, this works perfectly. And you don't have to have it this long. This is definitely the max baste. But you can go back to your machine and reduce your stitch length if you'd like, bring it down to a 5, 4.5, and by removing every other stitch, it would give you a much longer baste. So here, because we want a tail on both sides, we are not going to cut our thread with the automatic thread cutter. We are going to raise the needle and raise the foot. And then we're going to pull our fabric and use either snips or use a cutter on the side of the machine. And then you will be able to pull the tails if we want it to gather. Or to say if we're done with the basting stitch we no longer need in our project, it will just come out super easy because that stitch length is nice and long. So it pulls out super easy, and then we can continue on with our project, but the basting stitch served its purpose. So that's it. All right, happy sewing.